Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video I want to go over my ideas for 5 DLCs that The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners could have. Now, tomorrow on Wednesday we are getting a announcement from Skydance. Now this will probably be the release date for the Quest version of the game, although they could throw in a DLC announcement, as they have hinted at story DLCs being a possibility for this game. So without further ado, let's begin. But before we do, I just want to let you know this video will contain spoilers for The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. It will also contain spoilers for its prequel podcast series, The Supernatural Skeptic's Guide to New Orleans, and Telltale's The Walking Dead. So let's begin with number 5. The Axeman. Now, a few months ago I did a video talking about the Axeman, who was mentioned several times throughout this game. Now, I know he is based on a real-life serial killer that was active in New Orleans, but it's possible they could do a DLC about a possible copycat killer that is pretty much using the apocalypse to kill some of the last remaining survivors in the world. And I think a DLC where you maybe track this copycat killer down and kill him or her, well, chances are it'd be him if they're using the name AXEMAN, but like, I think something like that would be pretty interesting. So that's pretty much all I gotta say for the AXEMAN. Anyway, on to number 4.
Don't fucking lie to us!
Who do you think you're fooling here?
Give us the truth and you don't get hurt!
Fucking with me?
Where's the rest of your group?
I'm by myself.
Bullshit!
She's lying.
Cut the shit, lady.
Okay, so the next idea for DLC is a connection with Telltale. Now, one of the biggest questions left unanswered from the Telltale series of The Walking Dead was the fate of the character of Krista. Now, some fans think her character died, some fans think she's still out there. I think even the actress that played Clementine, Melissa Hutchison, has even said that she thinks Krista is still out there somewhere. So, seeing as Saints and Sinners possibly at this point in time where, you know, the story with the reserve and stuff, it's possible this story takes place before Krista went missing. So at this point in time, Krista and Clementine are still together. But if they did a DLC, you could do like a DLC that takes place maybe a year after the events of this game. Maybe Krista, instead of heading north like she was originally intending to by going to Wellington, maybe she headed more down south and ended up in New Orleans. So I think it would be a really great way to bring interest to Saints and Sinners by attracting the Telltale fan base, as a lot of the Telltale fans are very, well, hungry for another Walking Dead Telltale game, and if this game had a connection to Telltale, well then it would definitely cause a lot of interest, especially because Krista was played by Mara Jeanot. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And Mara Jeanot has actually done voice work for Saints and Sinners. She played the character of Sarah Bennett from the podcast series The Supernatural Skeptic's Guide to New Orleans, and we will be talking about that character coming up in a minute. So it would be cool to get her back, maybe reprise her role as Krista, and actually have Krista be a character that you can help out in this game. Maybe even giving you access to kill her character, keep her alive, kind of like how you're allowed to kill pretty much any character in this game or keep them alive. It'd be cool if you could do the same with Krista, although maybe some people might not like making Krista a determining character, so maybe you kind of got to tiptoe around that. But again, I think a Telltale connection would definitely cause way more interest in this game. Not to say that Saints and Sinners doesn't have a lot of interest in it. I mean, this is one of the biggest VR games of the year, and it's been very praised by critics and fans, so it would be really cool to see even more people give this game a try because of its Telltale connection. Anyway, on to number 3. From one Marginal character to another, Sarah Bennett. Now, if you've watched the prequel podcast, The Supernatural Skeptic's Guide to New Orleans, then you would know that at the end of that series, Sarah was headed for a group that was said to be run by a strong woman. Now, an interesting detail I've noticed about this is it is almost definite that the group she was headed to was in fact the Tower. And here is the main bit of evidence for that. The main bit of evidence is that when Sarah hears about this group, it's said that it started in the 9th Ward. Now, if you listen to Mama's letters that she has all around the area, she mentions that her group started off in the 9th Ward. And from there, they added more people, and then they eventually found a new place to stay. So it would be cool to actually see Sarah as a part of the Tower in the game. Or maybe we could see Sarah in a different DLC, because I have another DLC idea, and this one is more focused around the Tower. So you could kind of have the Sarah Bennett DLC and the Tower DLC be one, instead of 2 separate DLCs, because I don't think they're going to do that many DLCs for this game. I think at most they will probably do 2 story ones anyway. And even then, I don't know if they will do 2. That's just me hoping they do 2. So anyway, next it is time for spot number 2. So for number 2, I'm going with a DLC for the Tower. Now, I think out of all the possible DLCs we could get, a Tower DLC is almost... it's probably the most likely, because the Tower is such a major part of the game, and while you meet the leader of the Reclaimed, Jean-Baptiste, you never actually meet Mama, the main leader of the Tower. Now, you meet her second in command, Georgia, and you can actually kill Georgia in the game, but you never see Mama. Now, it's rumored throughout certain survivors in the game that she might actually be dead, but it seems as though she is in fact alive, and it would be cool to maybe see some of maybe after you either flooding the reserve or taking all the supplies from the reserve, it's possible this could have bad repercussions. Maybe your actions have consequences, and the Tower is actually going to hunt you down now. Now, we know the Tower has shown signs of being ruthless, especially, with how much they were hunting down May. So it would be cool to see maybe the Tower is now hunting you down, and now you've become you've become pretty much target number 1 in New Orleans, and you kind of have to fight off a wave of Tower while also learning more about the Tower themselves, possibly even seeing Sarah Bennett, now a member of the Tower, and getting more information on her, maybe even being able to kill her. And another thing they could even have is maybe a new area get added to the game, and this area being the Tower's new place of living. So I would love to see new areas get added to the game, because it adds more scavenging possibilities. So I think a Tower DLC is almost guaranteed, although again, nothing's been confirmed. I'm just saying a Tower DLC would be really cool, and I would definitely be excited if one got announced. Anyway, so next up is our final entry, which is number 1. Escape from New Orleans. Now, I have an idea. Let's say the first DLC, let's say if they do make two story DLCs, let's say the first DLC is a tower DLC which ties up some of the loose ends from the story, and then they do a follow-up DLC which kind of bridges the gap between the first season, between the first game and the second game. Now, Skydance have, like, they have said they are open to do a sequel for Saints and Sinners. I mean, this game has been very successful. It's definitely been the most successful Walking Dead game that hasn't been Telltale. So a sequel would be very much, you know, a possibility. I mean, like, I think Skydance and Skybound have a winning franchise right here, and to not make any more games from this story, I think would be a mistake. I think they should definitely continue this series, kind of like how Telltale, you had 4 games that followed Clementine's story. I would love to see what happens to the tourist after the events of Saints and Sinners, because a lot of people do wonder, after, keeping Casey alive or killing him, what happens next in the story? And I think as we see throughout the game, more and more walkers start spawning in areas and less supplies start spawning as well. So what if Escape from New Orleans is about how New Orleans has become way more, crowded by the dead, and almost all supplies in the area are gone. Like, the town's pretty much been picked clean, and the tourist is pretty much planning on moving on now. Maybe the tower, what's left of it after the events of the tower DLC, maybe they're coming after you. Maybe the Reclaimed actually starts coming after you. Maybe a new group starts sprouting up. Imagine you're trying to escape from New Orleans because maybe, I don't know, like, you could have, maybe there's just a huge herd of the dead coming, and you need to get the fuck out of New Orleans quick, or else you will die. So the whole point is getting you the fuck out of New Orleans. Maybe the DLC ends with the tourists finding a new location, a new place to set up camp, and that could be basically leaving the door open for a sequel. So, like, let's say maybe the tourist wants to go to Alabama or something. Let's just, like, any random place like that. And in Saints and Sinners 2 could continue the story, and you have a new area, and it continues on from the story, and these DLCs would pretty much be the bridge that gaps the first game and the second game. Kind of like how 400 Days was a gap. It bridged the gap between the first and second Telltale game. So I think something like that would be really cool, and giving Saints and Sinners kind of a TV vibe, kind of like what Telltale was going for. You have the main game itself, you have the first DLC which could tie up the loose ends of the tower, the second DLC which bridges the gap between the first game and second game, and then you could do a second Saints and Sinners which adds new areas, new characters, new weapons, all sorts of new things. I mean, like, there's so many possibilities for Saints and Sinners going forward, and I think Skydance and Skybound should really consider doing more games like Saints and Sinners, because this game has been absolutely incredible. I mean, like, the most popular video on my channel has been a Saints and Sinners video. This game is great. Like, everything from the gameplay, the voice acting, the story, just, I love this game. I want to see more from this game. Any DLC, any sequel they have planned, I will definitely be playing it, and I can't wait to see what Skydance announces tomorrow, and hopefully it's a Quest release So people that, you know, have been waiting for almost an entire year for the Quest version, I feel so bad for the people that use Oculus Quest because they've been missing out on this game. Now, like, I'm a PlayStation user, so you know I wasn't one of the first people to play this game. We had to wait a few months because you know it came out on PC first. Now, to be honest, for PlayStation users, it wasn't that bad because we only had to wait like a couple months. It came like the game came out at the end of January. For us, it came out at the beginning of May. Like, we're entering the midpoint of September and the game isn't out on Quest yet. Now, it is supposed to get released in Q4, which is the October, November, December time. And seeing how October is coming up very soon, the Quest release should be around the corner, and I imagine the Quest release is almost definitely what Skydance will be announcing tomorrow. Hopefully they announce a DLC to go along with it, and either way, I'm excited to see where Skydance goes next with this series. Any other game they have coming out, whether it's Walking Dead related or not, I really am interested in seeing where Skydance as a company goes from here, because I think they have really proven to be a company that makes quality games, and I really want to see more from this company, and I hope they have a very successful career ahead of them. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video. Some of it was a bit rambly, you know, I was just rambling on. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video regardless. Thank you all for watching. And if you have any ideas for DLCs you would personally like to see, please leave them in the comments and let me know what you think. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.